All right, guys, attacking and defending the return. In the previous video, I showed you a few techniques to prepare yourself for the return of serve, how our footwork will be moving, all right, how we're going to get to the ball and actually hit a good shot. I told you a little bit about strategy of placement, and I'll get to strategy of placement and more technique stuff in another video. For right now, let's focus on either attack when I go forwards or defense when I go back to receive the serve. So what I want you to focus on is if I'm hitting, say, an attacking return and I'm hitting maybe off a second serve, something that's going to sit up for me, that's the key here, right? The ball is sitting up a little bit where you can really come forwards and take it early. Now, if you think about a contact point, a bouncing ball comes down, hits the ground, and makes almost like a rainbow shape, right? The higher the ball bounces, the more awkward it gets if we hit it at the top of the bounce. So I don't want to hit it way up here. I want to hit it in a comfortable zone, maybe around shoulder height. I like that nice early between maybe my hips and my shoulders, somewhere around there where I can get over the ball and attack without being too high to be uncomfortable. So what I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to come closer in towards the service line. I'm going to load my feet and essentially hit the same style of return I showed you in the previous video, but I'm just taking the ball very early. It's all about positioning where you are in the court. Now, if you take the ball early and you get it wrong, and then they can put you off to the corner, look where I'm standing. So it causes a lot of problems if they can control that second ball very well. If they put you in the corner, it's essentially game over, all right? Very tough shot to return. So if you do choose to attack the ball, whether it's a forehand or a backhand, you kind of want to place it in a way where they're really struggling. It's hard for them to get the ball back and control it, okay? If you tee off and they tee off, they get lucky, all right, maybe they got lucky. But in general, you want to hit a good enough shot where they can't control the return very easily, and then you're in the point, okay? Even this is the time when you would hit winners. This is the typical Agassi return. If you watched, I think Agassi and Roddick played an exhibition somewhere, I want to say US Open maybe, and Agassi had some fun. He returned right up on the service line. He's right up here, and he's banging a winner off Roddick's serve, who was one of the fastest servers ever, okay? Especially at the time. So they're the tactics of taking the ball early. You've got to be really good with putting the ball where they don't want it. Number two, if you go for a more defensive return, you might think, okay, yes, in general, this zone back here is more defensive, but Rafa and a lot of players on clay use this as an almost attacking strategy. So they're going to loop the ball a lot more, but it's still very tough for your opponent to control the ball because it's so heavy, it's coming from such a high point, and it's really kicking up off the ground. So this is a great strategy too if you're playing someone who's got maybe a great kick serve. You can't take it early, so you've got to go back and roll the ball a little bit more to build the point, to get yourself into the point. You can still set them up a little bit with where you place it, or you can go back at them and just try and hit their toes as you get into the point, okay? So depending how aggressive you want to be is where you can place the ball. So same technique. If I start way back here, if you watch Rafa, he still gets down, he's low, he's ready, and what you can really use to your advantage here is your forehand or your more aggressive spin shot. You got to think, I'm going high over the net, so I want to use a nice heavy ball that's going to penetrate through the court and kick off. So if I'm starting this far away, I might do my typical return and move forwards. The weight's on the ball is my feet. Now I might be going forwards. I might have more time to take 2 or 3 steps and really load a forehand and launch one, okay? I've got more time because I'm further away, all right? If I go to the backhand, same thing. Maybe I have to hit a backhand. I might even be able to plant my front foot and rip through almost a regular closed style backhand, all because I've got time. So from back here, you're really giving yourself time against a better server, or if you're really struggling, create that time for yourself and try and roll the ball in. Now, you really want to try and put the ball deep, because the problem with giving yourself time is that you also give them time. If you go a little bit short, they can read that a mile off, and a better player will come forwards and really attack the ball on the rise and hurt you off this ball. So you want to be a bit cautious, but in general, keeping it deep, keeping it cross court, keeping it heavy will be a great strategy to build the point, get yourself into the point, and then you would shuffle back up to the baseline, ready to play the next ball, okay? So it's going to look like this. I'm going to get, say, a kick serve to my backhand. I've read the serves, gone to my opponent's side, expecting a kick serve, and as he goes to toss, what I'm actually going to do, because I've got time, is I'm going to anticipate and backpedal my way to try and find a forehand, boom, and hit that ball heavy to the corner. Now I'm in the point. Okay, so how do you guys use this? What I want you to try and see is as you split, reading and anticipating that ball that might be coming to you, as I've done in a previous video, that's going to be really crucial to giving yourself that time and getting yourself into the point. So try and practice anticipating, and I want you to really work your feet. As soon as you react and you move, boom, you're going fast. You're trying to really get there and get yourself set up where you can be heavy, excuse me, where you can hit a heavy ball, and then you're ready for the next one. Now, one last thing on anticipation. If you're anticipating a kick serve or you're expecting a certain type of serve that some opponent might be hitting to you, as they're tossing, they've taken their eye off you. They're only looking at their target for so long. Right now I'm seeing the ceiling. As the ball's up here, I've got to watch the ball at some point to actually make contact. So this is where you can anticipate and get ahead of the 8 ball just by a fraction. So do this too early, at your peril. They're going to see you move, and a good player is going to be able to hit to the other side. If you time it just right, as they can't see you, as they're looking up at the ball as they go to serve, now you can actually start anticipating. You can look for that forehand and give them that heavier ball if that's what you're more comfortable with. Now, last thing. There was one girl, Paula, who used to play at college with me. She had a great confidence on her backhand, a great solid, flat, fast backhand. She was #1 in the nation. She played, really, really good tennis, but she wasn't confident at all on her forehand. So what she would do, she would just simply put forehands in, cross court, simple, high, no real risk involved. Okay, a lot of margin for error, just simple. Keep the strategy where, okay, I can't really lose points with this style. But she would try and run around the opposite way and find the backhand. So if you guys are trying these strategies, don't think you're just limited to the forehand. Play your best shot. Play the shot you're comfortable with. And even if you want to run around it on your backhand, if it's working against your opponent, keep doing it. All right? Let them try and throw you off and too many different things. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Good luck.